Welcome back to another episode of Agent Success Secrets. And today's special guest is a longtime friend, Laura Hyatt. Now, Laura, you used to be from this lovely place called Savannah, Georgia, but now you live in a bit chillier place called Idaho.
I
So,
do.
that is an amazing part of your story. And I want you to just share with everyone kind of who you are and where you are these days and what's going on in your world? Because you've been in the real estate business for like 17 years or so, and you've kind of made a pivot in your life.
I've made a large pivot. I was listening to a book the other day by Hoda Kotb, and she was ending her book, and she was saying, when you're in the middle of big life change, whether you're starting a new career, you're moving to a new state, you're moving into a new house or building a new house, da 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 da. And I was like, well, what if you do all three of those at the same time? Does that make you extra? Um, so I did. And long story short, I built and ran a highly successful real estate team in Savannah, Georgia. I was there for 19 years, 17 of that was in real estate. And then I blew up my life, as Brittany Wintery says, asterisk, like a firework, not a bomb. And in 2024, basically handed over that business, moved 2,000 miles away, sold my house, bought some land, built a new house, and started a whole new career. And here we are. And it is honestly the best thing I've ever done. Like, scary, yes. Full of emotions, yes. Logistics out the wazoo, and would do it again in a heartbeat.
Yeah. I mean, I think scary is kind of a word that some people would say if they, hear your story, they're probably thinking first and foremost, you are bold as can be to make such drastic changes. And what was it really that got you to this point? You were very successful from the outside and running this large business and being in Gary Keller's top 100 mastermind group. Like, from the stage, you look like you had it all just rocking, but inside, that wasn't quite what was going on.
Yeah, I think there's a difference between being successful and being happy with your life, right? Because from the outside, I was highly successful. I was partner in a multi-million dollar real estate team. I was rocking and rolling buying investment properties, and yet the days and the weeks and the months and the years were ticking by, and it was a little bit like Groundhog Day, you
Yeah.
know? And in 2023, our good friend Lindy Moore and we climbed Kilimanjaro. And that mountain changed everything for me. It
Mm.
was the hardest thing I've ever done in my entire life, mentally, physically, emotionally. And it unlocked a new sense that of myself that I hadn't found yet. And so, with that new, I think the word I would use is resolve. With that new resolve, it was like, wait a minute. If this is my life, my one life that I get to live between this dash, what do I want it to be about? And for me, moving out west had been like a one day, someday, maybe when I retire kind of dream. And it started to become very clear after a couple of visits, just for funsies, vacation and whatnot. And it went from 10 years to 5 years to 2 years to, holy crap, I just did that in 9 months. And so I think when you find yourself with that little bit of like a nudge that maybe the life you're living
Mm.
looks good on paper, but it doesn't feel good on paper, it doesn't feel good inside, that is an opportunity for you to really reconsider and to evaluate, hey, is this what I want to do? Is this who I want to become? And if it's not, well, tomorrow is hoped for but never promised. So let's make that decision today.
Yeah. Well, I shared with our group the your newsletter, your blog, and I think everyone should be signed up for it because, of course, your message is so on point and inspiring that others maybe can see themselves inside of your story. And so, as you're teaching this, this dash, this life that we get to live, I mean, if you were coaching someone today that was kind of like, I don't know what I want to do, I don't know what I want to be when I grow up, how would you guide them through that conversation?
one, I don't know if any of us know what we want to be when we grow up, right? I just kind of refuse to grow up and see what happens. But if you're finding yourself in this place of like, oh, I just don't know,
Mm.
right? Because I've been there and I understand that. The thing that helped me the most was to sit down and pause for a second. I think especially in the real estate industry, it is go, 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 go. And we don't do a lot of just pause to breathe and assess and to think, huh, well, what has the last 12 months look like? Is that how I want my next 12 months to look like? How does it feel? Right? Am I exhausted? Am I burnout? Am I like, please, dear Lord, don't let the phone ring one more time? Or am I in this place of like, whoa, I get to do this? Like, this is my life. I get to do this. And so those are two different experiences. And if you're in the former, it's an opportunity. And if you're in the latter, fantastic. What's working really well for you? And how do we keep doing that? Because if you're just gonna live your life in the rat race and a couple decades later be like, cool, that was my career, awesome,
Yeah.
that might be worth reevaluating.
Yeah. Well, I think that a lot of my audience and friends and people who plug in here are probably similar to us in that they are more relationship based. They care about the people, and I know that was always a part of your business and running a real estate team. And so let's talk a little bit real estate related, since that's a lot of our audience of, what were your best strategies? And like I do, today's world of AI and spam texts and calls all day long is exhausting. And so, how can we be more real in this AI world?
Yeah, I mean, for me in my real estate days, the things that worked the best were people first and community first. And
Mm.
so that meant loving on my team and making sure my team members felt good about where they were at and where they were working. And then how could we intentionally be part of our community? We had a physical office location that was right in the hub of a neighborhood. Jenny, you've been there, you know. And it was like, okay, well, if I'm going to be a good member of this community, what does that look like?
Mm.
You know? And it was little things from like decorating the office when all the kids at the stoplight would stop and they'd be like, oh my gosh, I love your Frankenstein for Halloween, or creating a neighborhood food drive. We ran that for, God, 10 years, and giving back to our community because I fully believe that whoever you are and whatever you individually value, those things should be reflected in your work. And so, impact was a huge one for me and my business partner. And so I wanted to make sure that was reflected in our company. Jenny, I know you love fun. You're right. That's one of your favorite things. And so making sure that's reflected in your team and that's reflected in the things that you do with your organization. You also care about giving back, right? I've seen the Tulsa looks good on you stuff like so being authentic to who you are is the best thing. And making sure in this age of AI, like y'all, we know if the dashes show up, we know that the AI wrote it, right? So really think about, well, how would I say this if I was talking to a friend?
Mm.
And then maybe we have AI polish it, right? Because listen, not everyone is the best writer, grammar, speaker, etc. So have AI polish it. But if you are dependent upon AI to write everything and to generate all of your ideas, you're just going to look like everyone else. And you are a unique individual. So let it be a polisher, but don't let it be your entire brain. So identify what are like two or three things that really matter to you. And what are the ways and the strategies that we can incorporate that into your business going into 2026?
You said some words that hit home for me in my mind, which something that I'm really focused on is alignment. And I
Mhm.
think a lot of our group is in that same phase of life of, I know that I am in real estate, which can be go, 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 but I also know that I love giving back or my family or my downtime. And so we can get really out of whack and out of what they say, out of balance. And so alignment is really important to me right now, where our values show up, our personal values show up in our business. How do you, in your new career and opportunity that you have working now, is this new business? And it feels like that's kind of what you're helping business owners and leaders work through as well.
Yeah, I think one of the things that we often succumb to is we set this vision for our business, and then we go 4, 5, 6, 7 years down the road with that same vision, but our life has changed, you know? So maybe that looks like, a new relationship. Maybe there's kids in the picture. Maybe kids have gone off to college and you're empty nesting. I know, cry a little tear, Jenny. um, but like, if we set out with this one vision for our company, but our life is
Right.
always changing and evolving, if we're missing the mark and we're not going to be aligned. And so, one of the things that I help people with at my business Highline is what's the season that you're in right now? Okay. And if we're not clear on the season that we're in and what matters in the season, I can throw strategy at you all day long, but it's never going to work because it's not in alignment. Right. So we have to understand the season we're in, what feels good, what looks good. Then we can go build a strategy. And the thing is, the strategy might be a 5 year strategy, might be a 1 year strategy, might be 30 days, right? Because of the season that you're in. And I think that's the missing piece that I think a lot of business owners are missing is slow down to really pause and assess that first.
Yeah, well, let's talk about Highline.
Yeah.
You launched this new business, and I know you so well. And of course, you're so thoughtful in your font and your words. And I know you write your real words and probably don't even use AI because I know
I
you.
do. I'm going to make it polish it. It's my proofreader.
Okay, okay, just the polishing because I know you so well. I know that you really are thoughtful in your precise wording. Let's talk about Highline. Tell me
Yeah.
about it.
So Highline Studio is the name of my company, or Highline. It's a little nod to raising your elevation, taking the Highline in life and in business. But it's HY because my last name is Hyatt. Just kind of having a little fun and creativity there. But honestly, it is strategy with the soul for those that are doing meaningful work. And when I say meaningful work, it's for the mission led entrepreneur, right? Whether that's a small business owner, a nonprofit founder, a dreamer with this vision but doesn't know how to get it off the ground. And
Mhm.
so my work at Highline is to come alongside those people who want to make an impact because, again, that's authentic to me. I love people that want to make an impact. It's a huge priority value in my life. And come alongside them and saying, hey, okay, well, let's see where you're at, right? What are you doing? And what's the strategies and things that we can help you with as far as maybe that means my business is great, but my life sucks, right? So we're going to focus on the life clarity. Or, hey, I started this business out of passion and holy crap, it turns out it's successful, but now I have to wear my big girl pants. And what do I do? Right. And so bringing some of those business strategies that I have from the last 17 years in and saying, okay, all right, we've run a business before. Let's do this. Let's put some of those things in place. And then there's like ongoing partnership, which Jenny, you and I might have called coaching back in the day. But today with Highline, I really prefer to see that as a partnership, as someone who's going to work with you and not someone who is going to be like, well, what do you think you should do?
Right.
Right. My goal is to help you with like, hey, cool, that's what's going on. What about a couple of these strategies? What feels right? Let's work through those together and really provide tactical strategies to help you have the impact and growth that you want to have. And honestly, growth could just be, I want more time back. Growth could be, hey, I'd like for this business not to feel like such a heavy lift. Or I really want to be able to pick my kid up from school every day. So what can we put in place so that I can go do that? It's doing the meaningful work for the people that are doing the meaningful work.
Oh man, I just think that's such a beautiful and needed niche that people just are going to just get so much from partnering with you. And I think it's so funny. I've always enjoyed a coaching relationship, and sometimes it's just tell me what to do.
Right?
Just tell me.
Right.
And you want that partner, though, that you trust has the experience, that you can trust that their advice is on point or helping you to come up with some creative ideas.
Yeah. And you know me, Jenny, I'm not above getting my rolling my sleeves up and get my hands dirty and really getting tactical with the strategies and be like, okay, can I just work on this for a second? What do we think about this? Right. Which I think is a little bit different than just traditional coaching, where it's,
Yeah.
well, go read that book, go listen to that podcast, and you let me know what you got out of it.
Yeah.
That has a place, but that's not what I do.
I love it. Well, what are you seeing are the biggest challenges in just even your own new business? You're just like a real estate agent now. You're building a pipeline and you're lead generating in some form to be able to help clients. So what relates to the pains of real estate agent as the pains of Laura right now?
I mean, you've nailed it, right? It is all about the pipeline. The people that say, "Oh my God, that's so great. Yeah," they drift away into the air, right? We've all had those people, especially in real estate, like, "Oh my God, you're in real estate. That's so cool. I thought about buying a house once." And then they walk past you, right? And it's really taking the time. Do you understand and know your elevator pitch, right? Why would I a good fit for you, and why would you want to work with me? And then having a tangible pipeline that you can come back to and say, you know what, Jennie raised her hand a week ago and I haven't heard back. I'm going to circle back with her, or I'm going to create some stuff that might be of value to her and just share it with her. And the biggest thing, honestly, I think it's being consistent and knowing that consistency will compound, and you have to be consistent in order for it to compound. Right. And so, I mean, I started this thing a couple months ago, and yeah, I'm remembering what it was like when we first got started in our real estate business. It's been a hot minute, and it's coming. It's already started to happen, and so to keep showing up, to keep being open to the opportunities, right? I know sometimes as real estate agents, we set out and say, okay, I'm going to work with investors. I'm going to do luxury. I'm going to be the reload specialist, whatever. You kind of define your niche out the gate, and that may or may not be what you're actually really great at.
Yeah.
And so staying open to letting that kind of evolve a little bit too, which is, I think it's super important.
Yeah, so good. Well, is there anything that I should have asked you that I didn't as we wrap up here?
Oh, I love your question, Jennie. I mean, I think the biggest thing is, yeah, I'd love for all of you to get my Highline letter. I send it out once a week.
Mhm.
You can sign up for that on my website, highlinestudio.com. And honestly, I think it's just business is business and people are people, right? And we know that. And so the most important thing for me has always been it's all about the people and making sure that the people that I work with feel seen and heard, and understand that everything that I'm going to provide or coach or ask those hard questions is coming from a place of heart, and intention, and making sure that you're living a life that you want to live too, right?
That's right. We only got this one shot and we want to make it the best that we can while we're here. No regrets.
No regrets. Absolutely.
I appreciate you so much, Laura. Thank you for spending your time with me today, and I can't wait to see you soon.
Thanks, Jennie.